Here are a few observations on quivers seen in ancient Greek art and similar quivers from modern Africa. The Greeks drew, painted, or carved several kinds of quivers. One prominent type is what appears to be a tubular, rigid back quiver with some form of protective cap or flap, which closed the opening and prevented the arrows from spilling out. Strikingly, there are very similar designs observed all over Africa, used by a wide variety of ethnic groups. For example, here are some of the quivers used by tribal hunters and fighters in countries such as Tanzania, Kenya, the Congo, and Nigeria. They are made out of diverse materials such as leather, wood, or even plastic, yet they are all essentially the same concept. There is also evidence for such capped back quivers in the medieval Malian Empire, which were used by both foot soldiers and mounted archers. An interesting commonality connecting the ancient Greek and African capped quivers is their association with the use of poisoned arrows. One notable example is the Greek hero Heracles, who poisoned his arrows in the blood of the Hydra. Also, statues of the huntress deity Artemis, or her Roman equivalent Diana, provide some of the best and most detailed examples of the capped quivers. In modern day Africa, the use of such rigid quivers with a cap, carried slung over the back for efficient transport, appears to be a highly utilitarian invention, designed for the safe handling of dangerous poison arrows. The closed and rigid nature of the container protects the arrows from damage, and the cap prevents them from spilling out and accidentally stabbing the archer. It's also possible that the cap minimizes air circulation so as to keep the poison fresh. Although the Greek quivers exist only in art, they are nonetheless fairly realistic, and it stands to reason that their originators' underlying motivations could have been very similar to those of the Africans. That said, there are interesting and important differences. The Greek quivers are sometimes shown with the archers withdrawing their arrows from over the shoulder, much as is the practice with modern bow hunters. There is nothing intrinsically wrong or ineffective about this method. However, in Africa, any quiver suspended from the shoulders by a strap seems capable of functioning as either or both a back or side quiver, depending on the circumstances. For example, ethnographic expeditions record how the quivers could be worn behind the archer while traveling, but for actual use, they were reversed so that the opening was in front of the archer for easy access. The rigid capped back quiver is likely an extremely ancient design. It could have been invented independently several times by different cultures, or it might have been inherited as a shared ancestral practice. Either way, it's a great example of a simple, pragmatic technology that transcends geography and time.